Well, hello. I am back. I told you I was going to be here every Sunday, regardless of who pops on or not. I'm going to try my very best out of my busy schedule to be here, but I got a little announcement to make. Okay, this is not live. I hope you don't be really upset with me because I did say that I was going to come every week live, but unfortunately, I can't. But it's a good thing though. I get to baptize some people on the Sunday here that you're expecting me to be live. So I'll be baptizing some souls. So that's why I can't be here live with you to give God all glory for these souls that's going to be baptized as we speak. Okay. So, what I want to say to you is that I really appreciate you for getting on and sharing with me. And I pray that you'll be willing to share this message and continue to join me in this series that I've been doing, talking about signs of deceptive combos in relationships, because we got a lot of conversations that's going on today. And as a counselor and a therapist over the years, nearly 50 plus years, that the Lord has used me just to kind of talk to families and relationships, not all about just issues of violence, but we got to look at really where we are, period, for our own selves. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this particular subject that you see here tonight. But before I got on here, Abba gave me a word. And so hopefully I'll be able to give you a word each time I come, as I usually do on our Ready Remedy call. There was a word that I call Rhema, word of utterance that he will speak to me for me to speak to you. And I pray that you will listen to this word. I'm also going to be coming from you tonight to you from my series that I'm doing here from my book in regards to deceptive relationships. I'm talking from this book tonight. I'll share a little bit with you that's called Why I Can't Trust You. Okay, Why I Can't Trust You. And then, of course, an accompanying part of it is a workbook that's called Trust Recovery. Trust Recovery. And what it's talking about here is talking about past, present, future, inner healing. And it's also talking about what you did and didn't say. And so there's a lot of things that we say and stuff we shouldn't say it, and we won't even leave out, shouldn't have done. So I'm going to move the workbook out the way. I'm going to be talking about this in a minute on page, 17 of Why I Can't Trust You. I'm going to share a little something out of there in just a minute. But meanwhile, I want you to tag this, and I want you to give someone else an opportunity to join me next Sunday by telling them to watch for me 9:30 p.m. Central Time every Sunday right here. And of course, sometimes my schedule may cause me to do something wonderful, Abba for Abba, that I'm doing now that I can't be live, and that is to baptize somebody to make sure that I will get glorified and they give their whole lives to the Lord. So I am so grateful to be a part of that journey. Listen, I want to share with you this one word that he gave me to give you tonight, and it's sensible. I was, wow. When I got this word, immediately I started thinking, this is perfect for what we're talking about tonight. Sensible. You see, we're talking about in the second part, you got the first part that I talked to you all about when we were here last Sunday. If you didn't hear it, go back and look at it. I think, let me look at my notes, see what it was. I think that first sign I gave you all, they talk too much. I think that's what it was. Yeah, they talk too much talking. They talk too much. That's what it was. You're going to know that there's a lot of deception because they're talking too much. They're sharing too much information. Okay. That's the first deceptive sign. Now, this sign here that you can tell that this particular person or group of people are dealing with a lot of deception or manipulation, or they just got a lot of anger and a lot of confusion going on in a relationship and got you all tied in. Is what call number two I'm talking about here tonight. It's triangulation manipulation. They're great manipulators on how to get you into the triangle of the mess. So I'm going to talk about that and some signs in just a minute. But I pray that you'll be here with me next Sunday because I got some more that I'm going to share with you that's going to really help you out to be able to see, we might as well face this in the Christian to big, so I'm praying that we'll be able to look at ourselves from the inside out. And remember, like I always say, ain't none of us arrived on anything. Don't think just because I'm sharing this information with you that I have not been here. I mean, I believe that I'm a learned woman, and I've had some experiences in my life. So I believe that God wants to use me to sharpen iron, and also to be able to impart hope for those who may be still held hostage in these positions. So anyway, let's talk about this word sensible. I was really moved by it. So I want to give you where the scripture is coming from for it first. It's coming from Proverbs 13, verse 21. And it says, trouble follows sinners everywhere, but righteous people will be rewarded with good things. Selah. I want you to say that for that for just a minute. Then the context of this, it means that sensible people always think before they act, right? But silly people, people that don't even think at all, people that are haters and fakers and troublemakers, okay, they begin to advertise their ignorance by doing things that they shouldn't do, and also including other people in their mess. They're what I call demonic messengers. They're very unreliable, what they're saying. They don't really know you. They want to say things about you. They want to share information. They want to say they're just not sensible people. The other thing about this, people that are not sensible, they're not trustworthy, right? They're not peacemakers. And really, these people who are not sensible, sometimes we can learn from these people because they're really showing themselves as ungraced, unlearned. And many times, if you listen to them, you'll learn what not to do in your life. And you'll also learn that anybody that listens to this type of person, they really are not allowing true fruit of the Spirit to flow through them, because now they're right in the midst of what we call, and I'm talking about number 2 here tonight, is the triangulation manipulators. And so let me jump back in here. I gave you my word for tonight. I pray that word will get you to really think about sensible and how you should think about what God's speaking to you concerning being sensible, right? So remember, I'm not live, but I do want you to please leave me comments, give me questions, give me topics, whatever it is that you want me to talk about. And, and just let me know. We want to learn from one another, but I believe that God has given me a little something to talk to people about. I believe that he's allowed me to be able to go through some things to be able to help families and individuals, marriages and relationships out. I just bless God. To all the glory be to God for where he has sent me through for kingdom building and families, to build better families. Listen, I want to talk about the triangular manipulators, but I want to share with you out of this book first, like I talked about, why I can't trust you. Okay. I want to talk to you about the issue in regards to, let me see what heading is this one is about. Let me look here on this page here. Yeah, he's talking about the innocence of truth and love. Okay, only the truth gonna set you free. And a lot of people feel like, well, if you love me, you'll tell me the truth. And then when they tell the truth, they're ready to bail out, or they're angry because they told them the truth. Well, love sometimes and truth is gonna hurt, but it's not to hurt you where it's going to damage you emotionally or anything like that. But sometimes people can't take some things that people give, and so we got to understand how to handle people through the fruit of the Spirit. Listen. It says on page 17, let's talk about trust as it relates to relationships. The Hebrew word number 7453, Reah, R-E-A, or R-E-Y-A, is pronounced again, Reah, basically means a personal friend with whom one shares confidences, to whom one feels very close. Here's an example. And the Lord spoke to Moses face to face, as a man speaking unto his friend. That's Exodus 33 and 11. Now, the word relationship comes from the word relate, which means to bring logical or natural association, to have connection, relation, or reference, to interact with others in a significant or coherent way. If we say that God lives in us and we have developed a relationship with someone or a church body, then we should be able to discern those who live among us to see if their character is of God or one of the devil's imps. Most of the time, leaders are connected, turn to page 18 now, are connected to others who have like ministry or offices and kingdom-minded ministry gifts that can be used for the development of God's people and the church. But unless leaders will change from their selfish motives and hear God about who and when to sow a specific anointing for ministry growth without feeling intimidated by their friends, co-laborers in ministry. They will continue to grow apart or become jealous, rebellious, and deceitful towards each other. On a regular basis, we simply talk, share, and trust people too much. Spiritual ignorance and one wrong relationship will destroy you. It's not God's will for us to be ignorant. See 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Now, let me jump right on in here so we can get off of here. And I pray you all will leave me some comments. And I got a question for you at the end. I pray that you will answer this question, please, because I want you to talk back to me, because this is one of the areas that I believe is so big today, because people don't recognize it in these deceptive relationships, because it's everywhere today. People just want to manipulate. People just want to be con artists, haters, and fakers, and they want to be able to do things to be able to see whether or not you're going to fall prey to the trap. Listen. I want to share with you, make sure I'm not over speaking myself. Let's see. Okay, we're back into the triangular manipulators. All right. So I want to jump now and talking a little bit more about what the meaning of this particular proverb means in regards to what I was giving you in regards to the manipulators. One of the things that I found over the years in counseling people, people have a tendency to want to manipulate people because they are fear that they may leave, or fear that they may share something that they don't want the other person to find out about, because they have found a way to try to trap them in some type of triangular situation that they're hoping that they could split a relationship up, or get somebody mad about something, or share something that is really not true. But listen, I want to share this part about what this really means when it comes to getting an understanding, as Proverbs 23 and 3 says, by truth. Okay, by the truth. It says, buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. Okay, buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. Okay, so what Solomon is saying here in the context of this, in most cases, we can see that people don't want to even think about getting common sense from someone who has wisdom. But when we think about how people find themselves lying about even the smallest things, there's a reason for that. So when we think about what Solomon is talking about here, he's talking about the implications of characteristics of people who don't understand the price and the worth of what it's really meaning to have wisdom or instruction or understanding. The other part of the proverb is using this term to make sure we understand about truth. And so truth is that thing that is accurately showing what is biblically true and fruitful, what is a reality, and it's something that's factual. And then when we get to the part of it that's talking about wisdom. Wisdom is the capacity, meaning to act according to truthful information. Instruction is a general practice of acquiring knowledge and wisdom that's kissing each other. And it's usually by learning from a more experienced person. I consider myself as a learned, seasoned elder, and I believe that God has given me wisdom and understanding. I pray for that. That's not something that just happens. We need to ask God to give us divine revelation wisdom to understand and know what he wants us to do concerning the matter. So understanding suggests that someone has experienced enough in their lives and have had wisdom in order to teach somebody else the principles and those things that God wants us to know about truth. And whether we want to believe it or not, people have taken truth and twisted it to make it look as though it was really wisdom. Anyway, let me get down to the triangular manipulators and the reason why I brought that up. See, truth only is going to lie in the word of God. Most of the time, people believe that they can give their 2 cents and a nickel about a situation. It's okay because this is where they're at, and they want you to believe that because that's where they're at, you should be too. When we think about, we're talking about the triangulation, and I know you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about the triangle of a mess. And so what happens in the triangular of manipulators, This tactic makes it harder for the person to stand up against someone because they want to always bring somebody else into the picture because they really don't have the wisdom to know how to be able to handle the situation. So they want to put somebody else in it, or they don't have the patience or the peace to be able to flow with it. So they put other people in it to make it look like, well, maybe if I get their opinion and get them in it, and they can see my view and so on. But actually, that triangular manipulation is really not a good thing. What it does is it actually starts to filter not only in your relationship, it filters in your marriage, it filters in family matters, are big ones, because everybody wants to try to get everybody's comments or point of view about something, or saying so and so said this, or he said, she said, and especially in friendships or co-workers, and we ain't gonna even talk about the church house part of it, but we need to make sure we understand that when we call ourselves trying to get communication to flow, many times we have a closed circle of people that's got this thing brewing, and before you know it, it's a big old triangular mess. So how are we going to resolve this matter, Dr. Murphy? How are we going to be able to detect the triangle manipulators, and how are we going to be able to know that they're the ones that's keeping this problem going? The very one that may have the breach, or the person that has the problem with the individual, they're the ones that's going around saying different things and keeping it flowing because they don't have the guts, or they don't have the strength or wisdom to know how to handle the situation peacefully. They just go behind the scenes and say and do things. I'm going to give you some signs to know that the triangulation manipulators could be right in the midst of you, or that you may be one of them. Anyway, I want you to think about how the people that are in your group or in a relationship that you may be in, whether, like I said, it's in your family, that you got this triangular type of manipulating going on and confusion. But this happens when one or both of the people that are involved in the conflicts try to pull a third person into the dynamic of whatever it is, okay? Whatever the goal is that they're trying to get said or done, they pull somebody else in a very slick way. They start to deflect some of the tension of whatever it is that they're trying to get off of them and talk to you about it, to say, because I know you got, I really value your opinion, so I really highly honor you and respect you, but they want to be able to put you in the midst of it. And this is the reason why we got to watch how our conversation is going, and what exactly is it that you're saying too much of, that I talked about on the first one. Number one, that talking too much and sharing too much information, and many times the information you're sharing don't have anything to do with the conversation. To me, it's like adding on to the confusion, or trying to deflect that individual from what should be really discussed between the two of the people who have the problem in the first place. So the third person, they want to deflect that person by putting somebody else into the conflict, and they want to take the spotlight off of them or off the original issue. So they want to reinforce this sort of type of way that they can get it to look like this is what the real issue is on their side, and that they have nothing to do with it and they're innocent. Most of the time, they have this righteous or self-righteous superiority complex. They feel like they haven't done anything wrong, but most of the time this type of triangulation manipulation is usually running through people that are Jezebelic, or people that are simply just narcissistic. They think everything they say is right, everything they do is right, and they never make no mistakes. Or, and it should be done this way. If they wanted to turn out right, they should have listened to me. But listen to me. I'm going to give you some signs. I'm going to get off of here, and I pray that you will leave me some questions in regards to this triangulation manipulation that's probably going on in your relationship, probably going on in your family, probably going on in your church, probably going on your job, probably going on right now as we are speaking. Somebody just texted you, somebody just called you, somebody tried to ask you your opinion about something they already know you don't have nothing to do with, but they want to put you in the triangle of the mess. Here's some signs right here. First of all, they're being asked to take sides. Write these down. I hope you got a pen. Write this stuff down. But you need to know this. First of all, they're being asked to take sides about a specific issue. Okay, whatever it is going on, and just putting you in it, is asking your opinion. I just want to ask you that you ain't gotta give me this is what this is the slick part. You ain't gotta really just say nothing but just yes or no. Or you don't have to give me your full opinion. Just what do you think about this? Because this here is really I just know that. What you think about this? Now they don't add some little ingredient to it to make it look like the other person's so horrible, and so they can look like that they're right. And listen to me, the second thing is they feel pressured to choose who's right, okay, during the conflict. So they're trying to pressure you, or they feel pressured because they're trying to see who's right during the conflict. And when they know it is either the one who started the mess from the very beginning, it could be the one that shared it with you, who is the one that started the mess, and now they're trying to get you in the triangle of it. The next sign is one of the people are feeling entirely ignored or rejected about trying to close the breach. Okay, they're feeling entirely ignored or rejected. They want to close the breach, but nobody's paying them any attention. So they don't want to go no further with you about it. They just figure, oh, forget you. If that's what you want to do, go on. And I believe in this time that we're in, you better be praying and asking God, as I gave you the word that He gave me earlier on, to be sensible about the situation. Use some sense. Have some godly character and fruit, that you know that you want to be peaceful. You want to make sure you be gentle. You want to make sure that you have peace. And, you don't want to just, if you don't have peace about the situation, you just need to completely just be quiet and pray. Pray for you and the individual, that God will give you all the right time to get it straight. Here's the other sign. They begin to ask you to share your thoughts, as I said early on, about the issue to the person they are in conflict or disagreement with. Why? So they can get information about what they are feeling about it. So they want to tell you to go over there and just have a conversation with them, or you just want to be a mess traveler. So you will start asking or saying, well, what does she mean by this? I talked to so-and-so last week, and for some reason she kept bringing up this situation. What's up with that? That's so you can get the thing to find out on their part, so you can put your 2 cents in, and then you'll take it back to the other person and say, well, she told me that this is the way it went down. This is the reason why it keeps on going on and on. And here's the next one. They use the she said, he said, and mention your name about what you felt about it. This tactic is their best bait. That's how they use to get you to be the demonic messenger. This is their best bait to hide behind the real truth, because they're too prideful or coward to face the person. And that's why we get so many people in the midst of it. That's why we got so many different church cliques and people that are in these groupies, and they can't say what they really want to say because they don't like this one that's in the group. They don't want to be around this one or that one, because they've already filtered all of this type of triangular mess, and they just sitting back trying to see, I wonder, did she know about it? I wonder, did he hear me say it? I wonder what he got to say about me. I ain't worried about him. I ain't worried about her. But all the time, you are worried, did they really get the information from the demonic messenger that you actually planted? I don't want to breathe. Anyway, so now you're too prideful and you're too coward to deal with it. So they choose to create the triangle of confusion and bitterness through somebody else to keep the he, she said confusing conversation going. That's right. They're going to keep saying, well, I didn't say that, but this is really the way she said it. And I don't want you going back saying nothing I said. So I'm just saying this. So please don't be going back and put my name in it at all. But look at you in it. You went and put yourself in it by even talking to the person that's in the triangle of the mess in the first place. Why would you even go and have a conversation with them when you already know it's a triangle of mess anyway? You've been manipulated to go and talk by either putting your ear to the mess. Oh, help today. You need to have to learn how to tell yourself, excuse me, I'm just really not trying to hear that. Y'all need to deal with that. I'll be praying about the situation, but I'm not in that. Leave me alone with that. But we want to be in the try to say, girl, I don't know what's going on with them. Bro, he been going through it with her, so I know you heard about it. But that's what y'all like to do. This is what we've all done. Let's face it. We've all done that time. What's she talking about? No, girl, you know I ain't got time to talk about it. Now, just going on. What just gone? You can share it with me because we're ready to get it in so we can start meditating in our own mind about what is it that they're saying that we don't appreciate, that they done said to the person that we might like the person. So we ain't liking it now what they said. That's why you shouldn't listen in the first place. Here's another sign. They start asking questions or insinuating about the issue, a person that was involved in it with that confusion or that disagreement or that long historical breach that they have not been able to get along. They used to go to the same church. They don't want to go no more to that church. They don't want to be around nobody else that's even affiliated with the church. So they're saying little innuendo talks about what they don't like or what they don't like about the pastor, what they don't like about the situation. So now here they go. They got somebody who's traveling it for them, and they've been manipulated by getting them involved by saying, here's the rest of it right here, in a slick way, to provoke the conversation, to include the person or situation, to get the triangulation victim, meaning that you've been manipulated, to share their opinion. You shouldn't have said nothing, but I'm going to pray, and really you shouldn't even cut your ear to it, because now your heart, if you really love this person or care about this person because they're hurting, now your heart is really hurting. Oh, there's my time. I got to go. Now your heart is hurt because you heard some pain that they're enduring behind this triangulation of breach and anger and bitterness and demonic messages going back and forth. And now you're right in the midst of a triangle of manipulation and confusion as well. Well, we all got one. We all got a manipulator that's around us. We all got one in our family who uses us to try to go and say this, or mama said this, or uncle Auntie said this, or daddy said this, or grandma, and so on. Pastor said this, or, they got to deliver a word to you rather than talking to you directly. That really never ceased to amaze me, because I'm prone and known to be one that's ready to talk to you directly, but guess what? I know, and I'm mature enough to know to wait until God tells me to talk to you. And you may be looking at me saying, I need to talk to you too. Well, guess what? Then you need to be talking to Daddy about when, the right timing. Everything has an appointed time. Everything even has a season for the issue. Praying that you recognize that because we all got one, and because we all don't really know how God wants to handle it without prayer, this does not make the matter righteous just because you want to go ahead and say something right then. Matter of fact, you may be stirring up more fire or putting more, more oil or fuel on the flame. I want you to recognize that we got to break the cycles of confusion and these triangulation, manipulating rivalries. Not just among the body of Christ, but within relationships, within people that you say you care about, and among those people that you work with, or those people that you are leading and that you're mentoring or coaching or whatever you're doing with them. But I think it's very important that we take a good look at, am I being really sensible? Am I being really thoughtful? Am I being really fruitful about the matter? I gotta go. I pray that you'll leave me a comment. And this is my question for you tonight. My question is, I'd like you to share your answer with me, and I would definitely get back to you and go and get on here and respond back to you. My question is, how would you handle triangulation, okay, as far as being manipulated or have been in that situation, that you can clearly see that someone was manipulating you into the situation? How would you handle that triangulation situation? Selah. I gotta go. I pray that you be blessed with this by sharing it. And I pray that I do get to hear from you through your comments. And please share this message. God bless you. Looking so forward to seeing you live next week. Pray for me while I'm baptizing those souls to the glory of God. Thank you so much for allowing me to be excused tonight. I'll see you then. God bless.